Hello everyone and welcome to this Python for Automation testing series. In this particular tutorial, we will be learning about the constructors in Python. So let's begin. So what are the constructors? So let me go to the notepad here and let me write it down for you. So basically constructors are special methods used for initializing the new objects. So this is basically about the constructor. They are special methods used for initializing the new objects. Now when we talk about the constructor in Python, we can define the constructor using --init underscore. Basically this is underscore method. So when a new object is created, Python automatically calls this method to set up the initial values or run any startup code. Okay, so the purpose is that there are special methods used for initializing the objects. Okay, and in Python you can define them using this __init_underscore method. And when a new object is created, Python automatically calls this method to set up the initial values. Okay, and now why we need the constructors? Okay, so it initializes the attributes as soon as an object is created. So initialize attributes as soon as an object is created. Then set up an object's initial state without requiring an additional method calls. So basically it will set up an object's initial state without requiring additional method calls. And also it will improve the code readability by handling the setup in one dedicated place. Now when we talk about the syntax of the constructor, so basically what we will do is that we will simply creating a class, and for example class name, and inside this we will be creating this special method using __init, and it will comes with a self and any parameters we will be using for our code. Okay, so parameters, and then we have to initialize the object attribute. So here let me add a comment. So basically initialize object attributes. Okay, so this is a very basic syntax. Now here this is class name. This is how we define the functions. __init is basically we are creating this special method which is used as a constructor. Okay, and here a self is basically a reference to the current instance of the class, and any additional parameters which is needed to initialize the object. Okay, now let's go to the Python and let's create a very basic example over here. So let me create a new Python file and let me name it as constructor. Okay, and let's create a class called person, and inside this let me define a constructor. So you see that as soon as I type __, you see that this is a predefined and this is basically a constructor. And now inside this, for example, if I want two more arguments which I need to initialize, for example name and age. Okay, and now so basically I need to initialize the instance variable using this self.name is equals to name, and self.age is equals to age. Now the constructor is defined, and let me create one more method here, or the function here. So basically display, it will display the info, basically a very basic and very simple method basically. And here I will go with simply a print statement to make it easier to understand. So using the f strings, I will say name colon, and what I need to do is that I need to provide this self dot name, and comma, I will provide the age. So here I need to provide the age basically. So basically what we need to do is that instead of comma here, so we need to provide comma after this one, and then we say age colon, then self dot age. So basically when we call this method, basically it will print the name and age. Okay, so now here understand, this init method takes name and age as arguments and initializes them as the instance variables. Okay, and this display info method outputs the name and the age of the person. Right, now what I need to do is that we will create the object using the constructor. That's what we need to do. So let me create the person 1 is equals to person, and I will say this is testing, and age equals to 35. Okay, and now I need to display this thing. So simply what I will say, person 1 dot, I will call this display underscore info. So if I run this one, you will see that it will say, okay, we need to provide an argument. So here the problem is that we provided name and age with double quotes. So what Python did is that it considered whole thing as a string. Basically we provide the strings in the quotes. So here we need to provide quotes in this way and move the quotations from this one. Okay, now if I run this one, it should work now. You see that the name is testing and age is 35. Okay, so basically now we need to understand what exactly we have done. So creating the object, so we are creating the object and calls this init method with the testing and the 35 as the argument. So initializing the inside init self.name, which is set to testing, and self.age to 30, and then we are calling a method person1.display underscore info, which actually prints the values initialized by the constructor. Okay, now when we talk about the constructors, we can go with the default values. Okay, so what I say, for example, let me make some changes here. Okay, so I say name is equals to testing funder and age equals to 25. Now what I did is that now I have defined the default values for the constructor. So as soon as I call this one, even without providing the name and the age over here, it will populate the values. Okay, so let me remove this one. Okay, simply calling this. Okay, and if I run this one, you see that it gives me testing funder, age, this. Now once we have provided the default values, we can also provide the values as per our need as well. So simply I will say person, so let me create person2 and say person, and inside this one let me provide say QA and then comma 35. Okay, And now if I call this one person dot display, so this time we will get this and this as well. So we're in this one, you will see that. So both are printed over here. Okay. So let me summarize this one. So basically the constructors are the special method used for initializing the objects, and we need to use this underscore init underscore. Okay. And then basically it initializes the attributes as soon as an object is created. It sets an object initial state without requiring an additional method calls. And this is the syntax we use. And also what we did is that we learned that we can go with the default constructor parameters. Okay. So this is what we have covered in today's session. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. If you like our content, then do like, comment, share and subscribe our channel. Once again, thank you so much and see you in the next tutorial.